Hello, this is Kelly, and let's see, it's May the 25th. We got a 3:45, and I was going to do this earlier today, but it's been raining. Pretty hard, actually. But I wanted to document my new hanging garden, and I've got a few things in buckets, too, that I'm going to add to. But I just kind of wanted to put this on videotape so I could keep track of how things are going, because this is my first time at doing this. First of all, these are the first 6 here tomato plants, and that's actually what I've been reading up the most on, is tomato plants. As you can see, I've got a bed here started that goes kind of the length of my yard that I plan on utilizing, but I won't be able to until the weather kind of breaks. Anyway, this is kind of what I did. I hope you can make this out because it's really hard to tell. But anyway, I put a hook, or actually a kind of actually that's just it's like a bracket that you use inside of a closet. It had a nice hook on the end of it, so I thought, well, shoot, I'll just use those. And I picked them up at Lowe's for, let's see, what was it? 2 packages of 5, or a package of 5, I think, was like $4. So it was pretty cheap. And then I picked up all these other 5-gallon buckets from Home Depot, as you can tell by the color. And then those down there, I picked those up. Actually, they're cheaper at Lowe's, but I didn't know that till after I picked up the orange ones. But anyway, but they're still pretty cheap. I think they're $3 and change a piece, and those are like $2 and change a piece. So, but what's done is done. Anyway, this first one is called a Better Bush tomato. It's a determinate tomato, so it's not going to grow really long. So it's kind of, and I just hung these up a couple of days ago, and you can tell, hopefully you can tell, they've already started hooking up towards the sun. I mean, really, about 3 hours after I hung them up, they'd already started doing that. So, it's pretty neat. Anyway, this one here is what they call a husky cherry red. It's going to be cherry tomatoes. And that one's indeterminate, so it'll probably bush out pretty good, get pretty big. But as you can tell, this one's already got a few flowers. They've already popped out on it since I put it in the can here, the 5-gallon bucket. So, well, there goes somebody running down behind my house. This is a Roma grape. It's another indeterminate. It's going to be a pretty long one, but and as you can tell, it's really started to get pretty long already. But you notice that main part of it is already started hooking up. And I don't see any blooms or any flowers coming out on that one yet. But it's gotten really big just in a couple of days, or really long anyway. This is a Beefmaster, and I know that this one's going to be a big tomato, and it's indeterminate, so it's going to be pretty good sized tomatoes. So I planned on, as a matter of fact, you can tell, I kind of spaced these things out pretty far, especially the big ones, so that I can stake them underneath it, when I need to support the plant when it gets bigger. And that one's just bending and growing all over the place. That was just pretty much a little bit bigger than a seedling when I initially planted it, and then I left it in the buckets for, I don't know, a couple of days until they got, kind of rooted pretty good, so that I could hang them up. These next 2 are Goliaths, and they're a hybrid tomato. Again, they're indeterminate, so who knows how big they're going to be. But anyway, there's what that one looks like, and you can see that one's already crooked up towards the sun. And the same thing with this one. And neither one of those has any flowers on it just yet. But I'm sure if we could get some sun after this rain, probably will. Here's some red bell peppers, and I'm going to put some more of these in, but these are my first two. And you can tell that they look like little hooks. And just in the last day or so, they've really kind of taken off. And I think I'm going to be pretty lucky with these, I think, hopefully, because the family really likes red bell peppers. And also, if you can tell on the top of these, see I've got a hole in the top of all of these. And that's how I keep kind of, when it really, really rains hard, which it has been doing, it keeps it from overwatering. And then when things get a little bit less wet, I'll pull those off and maybe plant some herbs on the top, or flowers or something, to make it look a little better. Here we have a sweet banana pepper on the left and a jalapeno pepper on the right. And there, as you can tell, the jalapeno in here has started crooking up towards the sun already. And the same thing with the banana pepper. So, pretty excited about that. I like both of those. So, I may end up having to plant another one of those. Jalapeno, I think I'll get more than enough. But the yellow banana pepper, I probably will end up putting more in. And then down here, I've got some zucchini squash that I am growing pretty heavy right now. I've got 4 or 5 plants in there, and I'm going to transplant those when they get big enough. And then I'm going to hang them up. I'm going to put them in different buckets, and probably 2 per 5-gallon bucket, and then grow them upside down too. The same thing, well, no, not actually the same thing with this one. Those are green okras, so I'm just going to leave them in this bucket. There's 2 of them, and I think those will do just fine in that bucket. And of course, now these 2, well, you can see these are radishes, and they just started poking out through the soil today, actually. So I'll probably have to thin that one out. I don't know about transplanting radishes, but I may have to do something with that. This is actually some hybrid type of lettuce. It's kind of, a bunch of different kinds, and so hopefully that's going to get nice and big, and I can start having lettuce. And then down here, actually, I've been pulling weeds. I've been throwing them all here. Anyway, so this is straight neck squash, and I'm going to do the same thing with it. I'm going to let these get big enough, and there's plenty of new growth on this one in the last day. So this is taken off pretty good. These weren't that big, not even close, when I put them in. But when they get big enough, I'm going to transplant them and put them, and hopefully grow them upside down too, and see how that goes. I am going to keep a few, just like the other squash, or the zucchini squash. That's a zucchini squash. I forgot to tell you what those were, but this is zucchini, and I'm going to get them transplanted on. I'm going to grow some upside down and some regular, and kind of see how it goes, see which one does the best. So it's kind of an experiment, but from what I have been reading and seeing on the internet, I think this is going to be pretty neat. And here's cucumbers. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. There's 2 of them in here, but as soon as these get big enough, which they look like they may be getting big enough, I'm going to let them get past the top of this thing, get about a foot tall, and then I'm going to transplant them into hanging buckets. So that's what I have now, and all we need is some sun, because as you can tell, it's pretty darn overcast right now, and I'm kind of dodging a bullet here by recording this today. But I'm going to try to start making regular videos as things grow every week or so. There's my grapes. They're coming in. Grapes here, and this thing is really going crazy. And if you notice in here, you got some little grape clusters starting to pop up. You probably can't see, they're really teeny. So anyway, this is what I've got going on, and I just thought I would, and this hopefully should be full of either a combination of buckets and plants the next time that I record something. I just can't do it right now because it's pretty muddy, and I need to bring in some topsoil, some things to kind of make sure the soil's right before I start planting. So, and just for kicks, I'm on my way back to the house, but put in some marigolds right here, and you can see they've already started to come out. Kind of nifty to watch them come out of the dirt. Anyway, and then I've got another planter that's up by the house, right in there, where I've got flowers in too. So that's pretty much it. There's the rest of my yard, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this short, and then I'll pick this up in a week or so and see where we are. In the meantime, hopefully everybody enjoys this, and if you have any questions or whatever, I can let you know how I did everything, but that's good enough for a start. And in the meantime, I will see you next time. See ya.